Welcome back to our discrepant event where we combined two unknown solutions, and at 250 mils plus 250 mils, we never made it to 500 mils. So to explain what we wanted you to understand was, how does 1 plus 1 not equal 2? And in this case, it was 250 mils plus 250 mils did not come up to 500 mils. So the solutions that we were working with today were methanol and water. So I'm going to show you what was going on in this discrepant event and demonstrate for you using some beads as well as some molecules that we've used in our modeling to demonstrate the hydrogen bonding that was occurring and changing of the molecules and what's going on. So in the first flask that I had 250 mils of methanol, and in our model we built a methanol molecule. In the other beaker here I have these that represent our water molecule. So when we combined the two, we ended up with less than 500 mils of solution. So to demonstrate what was going on, I have an empty flask beaker here, and I'm going to pour my beads here that represent my methanol. And this is basically going to show you that these methanol, when put into the beaker here, if I combine them with the water, they fill in, because if you look, you can see that the methanol take up space. And I'm using a larger beaker to show you that there are empty spaces even though I'm filling up my beaker here. And if I pour in smaller molecules, much like the water molecule that you see over here, they begin to fill in the other spaces. And if we shake this around, what happens is you begin to see how the water molecules fill in the spaces of the larger molecules. Okay? And if I had even smaller molecules or beads, I could demonstrate how the smaller beads would fill in even more spaces. Okay? So that was kind of what was going on here with the liquids when I combined the 250 and how we ended up with less than 500 mils of our two solutions. So using our models here of my methanol and water, what we have going on here is methanol, when combined, because we want to have electrons repelling each other, we have hydrogen bonding, and so they're going to find the best spatial recognition spaces away from each other. And so our hydrogens are going to be as far away from each other as possible, and we have negative repelling going on between our oxygen, because if you remember about the electrons in the lone pairs here, they're going to repel each other, and so we may have some different configurations going on. But we have our water molecules that are going to come in, and they're going to squeeze in, and they're going to find spaces between these methanol, and they're going to fill in our spaces. Now we may have some rearranging going on because, of course, all of our different elements are going to want to be as far away from each other because of our electrons want to be as far away from each other as possible. So you may have some rearranging going on. But what's going on here is, because we have spaces between all of our molecules, they're going to fill in as much as they can while still maintaining the ability of the best location and the best degrees. It's possible. And you covered this in your VSEPR theory in chapter 4. And so because these smaller molecules can fill in the gaps between our larger molecules, which you see here with the smaller beads with the larger beads, this is the reason that you had 250 mils combined gave you less than the 500 mils. So this is what demonstrates or explains this discrepant event and why 1 + 1 in this case did not equal 2.